know where to start, but I know where I'm going to start. VJ Edgecombe, welcome to the playoffs, my friend. Holy cow, that was an exciting game. So we welcome you to Sixers Post-Game Live, brought to you by Cure Auto Insurance. Amy Fadul, the coach, Jim Lynam, and Mark Jackson. We're going to puff our chests out a little bit. We're feeling pretty good after that one. Apparently, I have to wear a dress with green in it for them to wake up. I don't even know what's happening right now. But Coach VJ Edgecombe announced his presence. He actually got hurt in the first quarter, came back in the second quarter after riding the stationary bike, and apparently it loosened up everything, including his three-point shot.
Yeah, it's right there, the summation of this game for me. That Sixer backcourt was magnificent, plain and simple. And you want to talk about a bounce-back win. Kudos to the coaches, to the players. What did we say the other night? Worst loss in playoff history?
It was the most points that the Celtics had ever won by in a game one of playoff history.
Okay, so what a win for the Sixers. I don't know how many of us still really believe they could do this, but they had faith in themselves, and they went out and they just played an incredibly effective game in the Boston Garden.
Yeah, not only was it a comeback as far as bouncing back after game one, but they had to come back within the game, right?
Yeah.
The Celtics are a barrage of threes, and they come at you in so many different ways, and Tyrese Maxey struggled early on in this one. He closed the game out tremendously. We'll talk about that. But, Mark, just the wherewithal to believe, as Coach was mentioning, to believe in yourself after you just got dismantled. It was a 32-point loss in game one. You come back to win in the Garden.
Absolutely. You played with heart. You brung your A game, you brung your B game and your C game, because you know Boston's going to come through and come out through spurts. But you take that spurt and you come right back at them. I love the effort. I love what I've seen. I witnessed something that was so important. VJ Edgecombe, again, proving why he's not a normal rookie, people. Once again, he's always doing the little things. Okay, we can talk about the 30, but 10 rebounds. The energy, and he got hurt early, and we said, "Oh man, another one."
Yeah, he left the game twice.
Twice
He came back in.
Came back. I love him. Heart champion right there.
Yeah, he really does show everything and then some, and it's so much fun to watch. And when you're looking at this backcourt, and everyone contributed in this one. There's going to be players that you're going to point to, VJ Edgecombe being one of them, Tyrese Maxey. I think Justin Edwards had some really good minutes out there. This is a lot of size and length that the Celtics throw at you. So it was a combination of a bunch of things they had to do. But, Coach, when you're looking at it, as a coach, and you've been in this scenario where you're talking to your team and be like, listen, it was a completely demoralizing loss. How much you can say you can put that behind you, but really it's going to be something that you're like, all right, you have to really coach them through it.
No, you're making a good point here, Amy. They did put it behind them. It's a challenge, yes. And I think some of the things that were very evident to me that they really improved and stressed, they didn't turn the ball over with reckless plays. And as a result, Boston didn't get as many of those easy layups that we saw in game one. The Sixers had a chance. They set their defense in the half court. And I'll tell you what, they defended the pick and roll 100% better in this game than they did in game one.
That's such a huge point, because defensively, we talked about a lot of the things they were going to have to do against Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, and they did a majority of that. They really kept those guys working for it. And, of course, you knew the Celtics were going to have a bad three-point shooting game. You just hoped the Sixers were going to have a good three-point shooting game, and everything came together, and that's exactly what happened. We got to talk about the run, because the Sixers withstood a lot from the Celtics. Celtics made that run in the fourth quarter, and I know you guys were all of us out there thinking, oh, no, here it comes. You survived the third quarter just to get dismantled in the fourth quarter. It did not happen, but it got close. It was 91-89, and then the Sixers were one that put the clamps on it. That is our Colonial Nissan game changer. It was a 17-6 run for the Sixers. And look where the time is right here. This is the first bucket of the fourth quarter for Tyrese Maxey. He had 11 points in the final 5.5 minutes, which Tyrese Maxey was cold from three and from really everywhere on this one.
Shooters keep shooting, don't they, Amy? And he got cold. He said, I will keep getting warm. And then look at the comment. Look how he walked up on him.
Yeah, he did.
Look how he walked up on him. That's what I'm talking about. Don't count me out. I'm always back in. Getting downhill.
Andre Drummond with the tip in.
Yep.
So this is what you need to do. You have to get the stops. You have to make them pay on it. And then Tyrese Maxey finding Kelly Oubre. Kelly Oubre 0 for 5 in that game one. VJ Edgecombe also 0 for 5, not 0 for 5 in this one. And then so VJ Edgecombe, as if on cue, because he knew I was going to already talk about him, he went 6 of 10 from 3. 6 of 10. Tyrese Maxey 5 of 12 from 3. And you can see him drive in here. This shot, Coach and I were out here for this. Watch this.
Wow.
How does that even?
Tatum stood there and watched. He just did because he knew.
There's nothing you could do.
He had no idea what Maxey was going to do.
You don't know where he's going to go.
Love it.
I love it. You can see Neemias Queta just staring at him and be like, what was that? Yeah, we don't know.
I love
either.
how he walked by the head coach.
Yeah,
Like, I'm going to put you in a.
Listen, there's one person that's a top of their scouting report for the Celtics, and it's Tyrese Maxey. And we talked about how they attacked him and really made him work for all of his points in Game 1. And they were sufficient to go one-on-one with VJ Edgecombe. Edgecombe made them pay, and I think that's one of the keys to this. If they're going to double and triple team, or at least show a lot of that, especially in the paint with Tyrese Maxey when he's driving and he's not making the threes, someone's going to have to pick up the slack. And tonight it was VJ Edgecombe, among others.
Absolutely. Listen, he didn't just pick up the slack. He wanted the heat. And
yeah, he did.
He understood the assignment. Oh, y'all decided to let me go one-on-one. Well, let me make y'all all prove out to be losers. VJ Edgecombe, from beginning game, played with so much ferocity that he had 30, led the team in scoring, but he did the little things. His effort, even in missed shots where he got second and third opportunities to help his ball club, the 76ers, prevail on another opportunity. I love it.
So this is we had a trivia question in our newsroom when we're all watching the game. We all get to watch the game together, and we have the Phillies crew up there as well, so it's a lot of fun. We asked, what's the rookie record for points in a playoff game? And the gentleman next to me is the one that got the trivia answer because he knows Andrew Toney quite well, obviously.
After a few guesses.
We all had a couple. Mo Cheeks was a guest too, but they had to be a rookie. So a lot of the really good rookies for the Sixers weren't necessarily in the playoffs. So Andrew Toney with 35, you see Mo Cheeks there with 33, and right behind them, VJ Edgecombe with 30 points, as I mentioned, 6 of 10. 12 of 20 overall. He is the subject of our electrifying moment, brought to you by Toyota. Coach, everything he did was on fire. He came out of the gates and he finished.
Playing beside another guy by the name of Tyrese Maxey, who has the same karma, who was given that green light to turn over a new flag and become a leader. It does nothing but push your motivation to be even more. VJ Edgecombe, when he was drafted, people say, oh, why didn't we take this guy? We take this guy. The Sixers knew their guy, knew who they wanted to take, and they had their reasons, and he's proven to us time and time again why he's a winner, and he was the right choice for the Sixers.
Also, 10 rebounds, 4 of them offensive.
Yep.
You can't underestimate the value of that as a guard out there getting those offensive rebounds. And we mentioned that he was hobbled a little bit. He left the game, actually, in the first quarter. He took a really hard fall. Let's take a look at that. You can see this is early on, and he's going to go. Defensively, we know what he's able to do. He's a good closeout guy, and he's always getting there. He's going for the rebound with Kelly Oubre, and he loses his footing, Coach. You can see him come down pretty hard.
Yeah, he got kind of hit up top, and as a result, he went straight down. He was unable to break his fall.
The guy jumps up. Look at that, Coach.
Wow.
I'm sure this hurt. You can watch this here on the reverse
You'll
angle.
See, he doesn't get his arm. Well,
he doesn't get anything down on him.
He got that right arm maybe down belatedly, but he's going to be hurting in that small of his back in the morning, that's for sure.
So he left the game for a little bit, came back out to ride the bike to kind of get it loosened up. And then so he came back in the second quarter, went off like gangbusters, had a couple of threes in that one. And then you saw after the half, in the third quarter, he also got back on the bike. And I imagine, Mark, some of that was probably at the halftime. Maybe it tightened up a little bit after getting that kind of. Yeah, you got to stay moving. So he gets on the bike and he comes. Thank goodness, because they needed 30 points from him, and that's what he gave him in that one. Because he's a plus 17 in a game that you won 111-97, Coach.
Yeah, I'm going to say you heard a couple of them, VJ in particular, after the game, alluding to talking about Game 1, playoff basketball. that it was too easy for the Celtics. You know, they were on cruise control. We didn't make them like uncomfortable enough. Bring like the intensity. Well, I got news for you. They flipped that switch. This to me, you talk about a reversal of forms in the space of 48 hours. I mean, I can't tell you how hard that is when you get beat like that. You know, mentally you're down, you're depressed, you're disappointed that you had such a bad showing for your fans. I mean, all the above. And to be able to come back like this, I can't give these guys and the coaches enough credit.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there was a lot of people that thought this is just good in Boston.